Have you ever dropped a comeback so perfect it felt scripted? I was 19 and the youngest mechanic at Miller's Auto Shop. Most of the older guys treated me like I didn't belong there. They called me college boy because I went to tech school instead of learning the real way like they did. I could rebuild an engine in my sleep, but that didn't matter to them. The worst one was Rick, 40-something guy with grease permanently under his nails and an ego the size of Texas. He'd been working on cars since before I was born, and he made sure everyone knew it. Every single day he found new ways to mess with me. Rick would give me the absolute worst jobs, changing transmissions by myself while everyone else worked in pairs, crawling under rusted-out trucks that looked like they'd collapse any second. Once he made me drain the oil on 6 cars in a row during the hottest day of summer, just because he could. "How's it going down there, genius?" he'd yell while I was sweating my face off under some car. "Want me to call your professor to come help?" The other guys would laugh, but nobody ever told Rick to back off. He'd been there 15 years. I'd been there 4 months. That's just how it was. One Thursday afternoon, this woman pulled up in a brand new luxury SUV. Beautiful black paint. Probably cost more than I made in a year. Rick practically ran over to greet her. "Don't you worry, sweetheart," he said, loud enough for the whole garage to hear. "The kid'll probably scratch it, but I'll supervise everything personally." My face went hot, but I kept my mouth shut. The woman looked uncomfortable but didn't say anything. She explained the check engine light kept coming on, even though she'd had it looked at recently. "We'll get you sorted out," Rick promised, then turned to me. "College boy, this one's all yours. Try not to break anything expensive." I grabbed my tools and got to work. The diagnostic computer said it was an oxygen sensor issue, which should have been simple, but when I popped the hood, something looked off. The O2 sensor had been replaced recently. I could tell from the clean threading, but whoever installed it did a sloppy job. 2 hours passed. I was finishing up when Rick's voice boomed across the garage. "You done yet, genius? What's taking so long? Want me to call your professor?" A couple of the other mechanics chuckled. Rick was leaning against the tool cabinet, arms crossed, grinning like he'd just told the funniest joke in the world. I calmly wiped my hands on a shop towel and walked over to him. "No need," I said quietly. "But you might want to call your customer." Rick frowned. "What customer?" "The lady with the SUV. She just called the front desk. Said the problem's still there from the last time she brought it in." The whole garage went silent. You could have heard a wrench drop from across the building. Rick's grin disappeared. "What problem?" I walked back to the SUV and opened the hood. Rick followed, and so did 3 other mechanics. Everyone wanted to see what was happening. "Loose oxygen sensor," I said, pointing. "Whoever replaced it last time used the wrong size socket. See these stripped threads? That's why it keeps triggering the check engine light. It's not seated properly." Rick's face turned white, then red. That was months ago." I shrugged and grabbed the correct socket. Guess experience doesn't always mean expertise. The garage exploded with laughter. Danny, one of the older guys, slapped his knee. "Oh man, Rick, he got you good." Even Jake, the assistant manager, was cracking up. "Rick, didn't you handle that one? I remember because you bragged about how fast you finished it." Rick just stood there, frozen, watching me properly install the sensor he'd screwed up months earlier. His jaw was clenched so tight I thought his teeth might crack. I closed the hood and wiped my hands again. "All done." Oh, and she asked if I could be the one to help her next time she comes in. That part wasn't even planned. The woman actually had said that to the front desk girl, but the timing made it so much better. The other mechanics were dying. Even Mr. Miller, the owner, came out of his office to see what the commotion was about. When someone explained what happened, he looked at Rick and shook his head. "Good catch, kid," Miller said to me. Then to Rick, "Maybe let him work without the commentary from now on." Rick's face was purple. He grabbed his toolbox and walked to the far end of the garage without saying a word. For the rest of that day, guys kept coming up to pat me on the back. Danny bought me a soda from the vending machine. Jake told me I'd earned my spot. Even Miller gave me a raise 2 weeks later. Rick never teased me again.